Life is full of challenges, and sometimes people will go out of their way to bring you down. They may have doubted you, spread lies about you, betrayed you, or even actively worked to see you fail. Perhaps they thought you were weak, incapable, or too insignificant to rise above their schemes. They underestimated your strength, your resilience, and your ability to rise from the ashes of their attempts to break you. At times, it may have seemed as though they had succeeded. You may have felt lost, defeated, and without hope, questioning whether you would ever recover from the blows that were dealt to you. The weight of their words, their actions, and their cruelty might have left scars, both visible and invisible, shaping the way you saw yourself and the world around you. But adversity is a strange thing. While it has the power to crush some, for others it becomes the very thing that fuels a transformation. You refuse to let their attempts define you. You refuse to stay down. Every hardship, every moment of pain, and every setback became fuel for your fire. The days of self-doubt and uncertainty slowly turned into moments of strength, clarity, and an unshakable determination to prove them wrong. Not just to them, but to yourself. You realized that the power they thought they had over you was an illusion, and that you alone held the keys to your destiny. There were nights when you lay awake, replaying every hurtful word, every betrayal, and every moment where you felt abandoned or defeated. But something inside you refused to let that be the end of your story. You started taking back control, one step at a time. It wasn't easy. Growth never is. There were days when you wanted to give up, when the fight seemed too exhausting, and when it felt like nothing was changing. But deep down, something within you had already begun to shift. The struggles they put you through forced you to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you ever thought possible. At first, it might have seemed like a slow, almost invisible process, but then, without realizing it, you were standing taller. The words that once had the power to shatter you no longer carried the same weight. The pain that once seemed unbearable became nothing more than a memory of what you had survived. They tried to break you, but instead they built you into something they never expected. Something unbreakable. Pain changes people. Hardships mold them. No one emerges from struggle the same person they were before it began. When you were pushed to the edge, when everything seemed stacked against you, you had two choices. Either let the weight of your difficulties crush you, or use them as fuel to rise. You chose the latter, even if at first it didn't seem like a choice at all. Perhaps it was sheer survival, the refusal to be defeated, the unwillingness to let those who doubted you be proven right. You endured, you adapted, and you transformed. Resilience isn't something people are born with. It's something that is built through fire, through failure, through rejection, through betrayal, and through suffering. Every time you are knocked down, you got back up, even when getting up felt impossible. Every time someone tried to make you feel like you were not enough, you found a way to remind yourself that you were. And even in the darkest moments, when it felt like you had nothing left to give, you found strength in places you didn't even know existed. The process of growth is never smooth. It is uncomfortable, painful, and often lonely. It forces you to confront things you never wanted to face. The insecurities, the fears, the doubts, the memories of everything that went wrong. It forces you to acknowledge the ways you were hurt, the ways you let others define you, and the ways you held yourself back because of past failures. It makes you question everything, including yourself. But that's where the real transformation happens. When you stop running from the pain and start using it. When you stop seeing struggle as something that happens to you and start seeing it as something that shapes you. There were moments when you probably thought you couldn't go any further, that the burden was too heavy. But somehow you did. You found a way forward, no matter how slow, no matter how uncertain. You learned lessons that others never will, because they never had to fight the way you did. You gained wisdom that only comes from experience, from hardship, from knowing what it's like to stand at the edge of despair and still choose to keep moving. The version of you that exists today is not the same as the one they tried to destroy. The version of you that stands here now is sharper, stronger, more resilient, and more aware than ever before. You grew in ways they never expected. While they were busy trying to break you, they unknowingly pushed you into becoming the person they could never defeat. You no longer react the way you used to. You no longer give them the power to dictate your emotions, your confidence, or your path. They may have thought they were tearing you down, but all they did was prepare you for a future they cannot control. Every ounce of pain they inflicted became the very thing that built your resilience. Every setback they caused became a lesson that made you unstoppable. Every time they tried to destroy you, they only fueled the fire that made you stronger. Life has a way of balancing the scales, even when it seems like injustice goes unanswered for too long. There was a time when it felt like those who wronged you would walk away unscathed, as if their actions carried no weight, as if they could betray, manipulate, or harm without consequence. It seemed as though they had all the power, that they could tear you down without ever facing the repercussions of their cruelty. You watched them move forward as if nothing had happened, while you were left picking up the pieces of the destruction they caused. It was infuriating, disheartening, and deeply unfair. You questioned why the universe allowed such things to happen, why good people suffered while those who inflicted pain carried on without a second thought. But there are things that cannot be escaped forever. No one outruns the consequences of their actions, no matter how invincible they believe themselves to be. There is a natural order in this world, one that ensures that everything eventually returns to its rightful place. It may take time, longer than expected, longer than what feels fair, but justice always arrives. The people who try to destroy you, the ones who deliberately caused harm, are now facing what they once thought they never would. What goes around does in fact come back around, and when it does, it is often far more devastating than they ever anticipated. Perhaps they thought they were untouchable. Perhaps they believed they could tear you down and walk away unaffected, believing that their actions carried no weight, that they would never have to answer for the damage they caused. But they were wrong. The universe, fate, karma, whatever you want to call it, has a way of making people face their own reflection. And when they finally do, they realize that they were never as powerful as they imagined. The lies they told, the deceit they used, the pain they inflicted, it all catches up. They now find themselves tangled in the very traps they set for others, burdened by the weight of their own actions. It might not have been obvious at first. You might not have even noticed when it started. But slowly, one by one, the pieces began to fall apart for them. The certainty they once had is gone, replaced by doubt, by struggle, by consequences they never prepared for. The harm they inflicted on others has returned to them magnified. The opportunities they took for granted, the power they misused, the people they hurt, it all comes back in ways they never saw coming. And unlike you, they never learned how to survive hardship. Unlike you, they never built resilience. They never had to fight through the darkness like you did. So when their reckoning arrives, they are unprepared for it, unable to endure the weight of the very destruction they once inflicted on others. You don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to seek revenge or waste energy trying to bring them down, because life has already taken care of it. The very forces they used against you have turned against them. They are paying the price, not because you wished it upon them, but because that is the nature of the world. What is done in darkness always finds its way to light. The truth always emerges, and when it does, it dismantles the illusions they built for themselves. They can no longer hide behind manipulation, behind lies, behind the false sense of security they once had. Reality has caught up to them, and now, for the first time, they feel what it's like to be on the other side of the suffering they once caused. Victory is not always loud. It does not always come with grand gestures or dramatic moments of revenge. Sometimes the greatest triumph is simply standing where you are today, stronger than ever, while those who tried to break you are left watching, powerless. They wanted you to crumble, to stay down, to believe the lies they told you about yourself. They wanted you to be consumed by the pain, trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, unable to rise above the destruction they caused, but they never anticipated your strength. They never expected you to fight back, not with anger or retaliation, but with resilience, growth, and success. They see you now, the person you've become, the power you hold, the peace you have found within yourself, and it unsettles them. Because the version of you they tried to destroy no longer exists. That person has been replaced by someone they cannot control, cannot manipulate, and cannot intimidate. They do not have access to you anymore, and that is their greatest loss. There was a time when they had influence, when their words could shake you, when their actions had the power to ruin your days, your confidence, your hope. But those days are gone, their power has faded, and all that is left for them is the realization that they failed. You did not just survive, you thrived. Every attempt they made to break you only made you stronger, and now you stand taller than ever before. They see you moving forward, achieving things they once told you were impossible. They see you smiling, happy, at peace, untouched by the chaos they tried to bring into your life. That is the moment they realize they lost. Because while they wasted their energy trying to bring you down, you were quietly rebuilding yourself, brick by brick, into someone who no longer needs their validation, their approval, or their presence. Your success is not just measured in external achievements, though there may be many. It is measured in the way you carry yourself now, in the way you no longer flinch at their name, in the way their opinions no longer hold weight. It is measured in the way you have reclaimed your life, your confidence, your joy. They no longer have the ability to steal your peace because you have built something within yourself that they can never touch. And now they are the ones left wondering how you moved on so effortlessly. Wondering why their attempts to destroy you didn't work, wondering why they no longer have a hold on you. They are left with the emptiness of their own actions, forced to confront the fact that their cruelty, their deceit, their betrayal, none of it was enough to keep you down. You have outgrown them in every way. While they are stuck in the same patterns, repeating the same mistakes, trapped in their own bitterness, you have risen above it all. There is no need for words, no need for confrontation, no need for explanations. The proof is in the life you are living now, in the peace you have found, in the strength that radiates from you. They thought they had the power to break you, but all they did was push you toward becoming the person you were always meant to be. Now they are left behind, watching as you move forward without them, knowing they will never be a part of the world you have built for yourself. Your journey is not just your own. Everything you have endured, every battle you have fought, every scar you carry, these things are not just remnants of your past, but lessons, proof, and inspiration for those who are still in the trenches of their own struggles. There was a time when you wished for someone to tell you that it would get better, that you were strong enough to survive, that the pain would not last forever. And now, you have become that voice. Whether you realize it or not, people are watching, even if they do not say it. They see the way you carry yourself now, the way you have rebuilt what was once broken, the way you have turned pain into power. There are those who are facing the same betrayals, the same losses, the same hardships that you once thought would destroy you. They are standing where you once stood, feeling the weight of it all, wondering if they will ever make it through. And whether or not you realize it, you are proof that they will. You may not have had a guide when you were struggling. You may have had to figure it out alone, to find your way through the darkness, with no reassurance, no roadmap, no clear path forward. But because of that, you now hold knowledge that only comes from experience. You understand what it means to be broken, to be lost, to be consumed by doubt and fear. You know how hard it is to keep moving forward when everything inside you wants to give up. And because you have walked that road, you now have the ability to help others find their own way through. It doesn't take grand gestures to inspire others. Sometimes it is as simple as continuing to rise, continuing to move forward, continuing to exist as living proof that survival is possible. You may never know how many people look at you and find the strength to keep going. You may never hear them say it out loud, but there will be those who see you and think, if they made it through, so can I. And that is powerful. Your story is a testament to resilience, and resilience is contagious. When people witness it, when they see someone who has been through hell and come out stronger, they begin to believe that they can do the same. Your pain was not for nothing. Your struggles were not meaningless. They shaped you, yes, but they also serve as a beacon for others who are still fighting their own battles. You may never fully understand the impact you have, but know this: every step forward you take, every moment you refuse to be defeated, every time you choose to rise rather than remain in the ashes of what was meant to destroy you, you are showing someone else that they can do the same. And that is how cycles of strength begin. The pain that was meant to break you has instead become the foundation upon which others will build their own resilience. The suffering that once seemed unbearable has now become a lesson, a guide, a source of hope for those who need it most. Because of you, someone out there will keep going when they wanted to give up. Because of you, someone will realize that their current struggles do not define their future. Because of you, someone will find the courage to stand up, to heal, to fight for the life they deserve. The battles you have fought were never just about you. They were always bigger than that. They were shaping you into someone who would not only survive, but who would also light the way for others. And now, as you stand on the other side of what once seemed impossible, you do not just carry your own strength. You carry the strength of everyone who will come after you. Everyone who will see your journey and know that they too can rise. You are living proof that no matter how hard they try to destroy you, they did not succeed. You are still here, stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever before. The battles you have fought, the storms you have weathered, and the pain you have endured were never signs of weakness. They were the very things that forged your strength. And now you walk forward, not burdened by the past, but empowered by it. Those who once sought to break you are now left watching as you rise beyond their reach, their words, their actions, their betrayals. None of it holds power over you anymore. The only power that matters now is the one you have reclaimed for yourself. This is your victory. Not because you sought revenge, not because you became consumed by anger, but because you chose to heal, to grow, and to create a life that is untouchable by those who try to harm you. You no longer carry their weight. You no longer live in their shadow. You are free, and that freedom is your greatest triumph. So keep moving forward, keep rising, keep proving, not to them, but to yourself, that you were always destined for something greater than the pain they tried to leave you with, because in the end, they will be left behind, while you continue to build a future they could never take from you.